Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to today's School Spotlight. I am Mackenzie Zach from applywave, and I'm so happy to be here with you today. I'm going to wait just a few seconds to see if we have anyone joining in live to watch. For those of you who are joining this live stream, please note that this session will be recorded. So if you have to jump out for any reason, you'll be able to watch it again later. You can find this video on our Facebook page and also our YouTube channel. So if you need to leave for any reason, you'll be able to come back and watch. For those of you who are watching live, feel free to submit any questions in the comments section. We'll be watching those, and at the end of our conversation, we'll join and read those questions and answer as many as possible. All right, so without any further ado, I would like to introduce today's guest, which is Montana State University. This is pretty exciting. First, we have Kay from the university, and then we have Juliana, who is a current international student. So thank you so much for being with us today.
Yeah, thanks, Mackenzie, for having us.
Yeah.
Awesome. So excited to get started, and it's really exciting to have you here, Juliana, to provide your perspective as an international student. So first of all, Juliana, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? What are you studying?
Awesome. So hi, everyone. My name is Juliana Rajamohan. So I was born in Sri Lanka and I grew up in American Samoa. It's a little island close to Hawaii, if you don't know. And then I moved to Montana to do my bachelor's. So right now I'm doing pre-med, human development and family science. And I also just added a program. I want to kind of get into like the clinical side and kind of help with the pandemic. So I'm doing medical assisting right now.
Wow. Oh my gosh. So you're busy.
It's been a busy semester.
Wow, but that's so awesome. And that's really cool that, you've been able to kind of adapt with what's currently going on in the world, and seeing how you can step in and help. So I think that's really great. And for any students watching, this just shows, again, I stress this all the time, but the flexibility of education in the United States. You can add things on, you can change things. It's really awesome. So Juliana, I'm interested in your perspective. I have personally never been to Montana, even though I'm from the United States. So from an outsider who, moved to Montana, what's it like?
Okay, I love this question because I get this a lot. So if I were to summarize Bozeman and Montana in like one sentence, I would say it's like a small town with like a big city vibe. That's how Bozeman is to me. It's like you can do a lot of things in like a small group. You can also do it in like a bigger group. And if you're someone who's kind of into the outdoors, we got a lot. You can do anything from like fishing to hiking to like skiing. And then if you're someone who's like, no, I want to kind of stay indoors and kind of enjoy, we also have that. We have a really great downtown strip. So if you want to enjoy like eating and like wine tastings, things like that, you can always do that. So it's like, I don't know, if you're an extrovert or an introvert, you can kind of find something in your niche in Bozeman.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome that there's something for everybody. What about you? What do you typically do like on the weekends? Are you more outdoorsy, indoorsy?
I'm kind of in between, I think. So I do love the outdoors, but I'm extremely kind of scared with skiing right now, but I'm still gonna try it. I am planning to go this semester, and we also have like a couple of skiing options on campus, so you can always like do a tour with them. So that's a good start for someone like me because I'm not experienced at all. So I do like the outdoors. I've been to a couple of the hiking trails here. We do have a lot of them close by, so even if you don't have a car, you can still kind of walk there and do like a short hike. And if I don't feel like going out, I can always go downtown and eat. We have a lot of options and a lot of different food varieties. So if you're an international student, I don't think you'll miss home because there's so much.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, what the food options are like. If they have a lot of international restaurants, like how does the food compare to like what you eat at home?
It's totally different. So, but I like it. So definitely there's something for everyone. So we do have a lot of options, a lot of different international cuisines. And if you're someone who wants to just eat like burgers and fries, we also have that.
Of course. I'm sure there's a McDonald's somewhere near campus.
Yeah.
McDonald's, Starbucks, the
Yeah, we have
basics.
all of that too. So it's all close to campus, which is really nice.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, when you moved to campus, I'm always curious to know about this. Like, what was the transition like for you? Did you suffer any culture shock? Like, was there anything that was difficult for you when you first moved?
Um, it wasn't because I went to kind of like an American high school, so I didn't really feel that culture shock. But I did kind of feel it when I moved from Sri Lanka to American Samoa, just because that was like the first time I was being exposed to like the outside world. I was like
Mhm.
10, I think. Yeah. So that
Yeah,
was the transition. And then when I moved here, like you can still see a difference when you kind of move from state to state.
of
Um,
course.
Felt like a lot of people in Montana, they're really nice. They're just so involved in like just getting to know others, which is really nice because that's something that I grew up in. So it's kind of nice to have that community and that little connection here as well and building up. And it opened up a lot of opportunities for me as a person.
I was going to ask if you felt, if people were nice and open and friendly, and that's nice to hear that they are in Montana. I
Mhm.
know, like you said, even state to state, things can vary so much. So I'm from Ohio originally, and in Ohio, people as well are very friendly. But then you hear, people say that in New York, people are really like angry
Yeah.
or, rude or whatever. And then you hear like California, people are really laid back, but
Mhm.
every state or region in the country tends to have its reputation when it comes to how
Mhm.
friendly people are. So
Mhm.
that's nice to know that Montana is one of those friendly places. Now, when you went, did you feel, you know, being a student who came from someplace else originally, you were born in Sri Lanka, did you feel like an outsider when you came to Montana State? Like, did you meet other students who had similar backgrounds to you, or did you feel like you were more diving into a new environment and just meeting all American students?
So I actually, since I applied as an international student, we had to
Oh, can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you, but it seems like something froze.
Oh, I can still hear you.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
so we had to attend like the international orientation, and then you have kind of like a big orientation with the rest of the students that came that year. So I was kind of able to get that international student sense and like kind of build community with like other students from other countries. I also made a couple of friends from Sri Lanka that were in my year, and we were still friends, so which is really nice. And then at the big orientation, you kind of meet everybody and um, build more friendships. So it's really nice to kind of get the sense of both
hmm
1 week during orientation.
That is nice. I like how that's set up where, when you first come on campus, you're with the other international students, so you don't have to feel like, oh, I'm the only one or anything like that. And then
Mhm.
once you get a little bit comfortable, then you get to meet um, the domestic students, which I think is really great. Okay, I think we're losing Juliana's picture. So, Kay, I'll ask you, can you tell us a little bit about the international student population on Montana State's campus?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are a university of more than 16,000 students, and around 350 of them are international students, and they come from more than 70 countries. So you can see how diverse we are. We don't have a lot of international student population compared to some other big university, but we have like 70 countries represented at MSU. You can tell
Wow.
how diverse that is. And the top five international students in our campus are from Kuwait, China, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and India.
Wow. Interesting. That's
Yeah.
awesome. And that just goes to show, I mean, when you think about a place like Montana, if some people have never heard of Montana. It's not New York, it's not Florida. So if you think about Montana, you may think like, oh wow, I feel like it's probably only American people there. I'd probably, stand out and be the only one. It's nice to know that on your campus you have so much diversity. I wasn't expecting that. I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about programs. I think we lost Juliana, unfortunately. So let's talk about some of, the top programs that students can study at Montana State.
Yeah, so at MSU, we have more than 250 majors there. So there's a lot of options for you to choose. We have from business to engineering, science to architecture, arts and nursing and health and human development. So there's a lot of options for you to choose here. But if someone asked me what would be like your number one pick of, like the major or the field of study that you want to come to MSU to study, it's a hard decision to make, but I would say anything related to STEM majors like science, technology, engineering, and math, you'll be in good hands here to study any of these subjects, especially for computer science, for example.
Yeah, and I was going to say I was doing some research before our webinar, and I see, you guys do have such a strong focus on research. And I think that's really amazing. So can you tell me a little bit more about the research opportunities that students have on campus?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like Mackenzie says, that we are very proud of our research activities, and in fact, that we are classified as very high research activities according to Carnegie classification. It's like Tier One research university. One of the
Wow.
things I really want to mention and emphasize is that a lot of the times when we hear about research, we think, okay, you have to be a master or a PhD students to have research, experience, but it's not a case at MSU. Our undergraduate students will just have an equal opportunity to access research opportunity, just like graduate, like master or PhD students. So if you're an undergraduate student, you're keen on research, this is really a university for you.
Yeah, and for everyone watching, that is something very unique. As Kay mentioned, at a lot of schools, research opportunities don't come until you're in your master's degree program. And if you are someone who's looking for a master's degree, that's great that you'll also get to continue that research. But if you're a student looking for a bachelor's degree, you'll still get those research opportunities at Montana State. And I'm seeing here, 300 on-campus labs, 44 centers, 7 agricultural research centers. That's amazing. What are the agricultural research centers? Does that mean, like you're outdoors? Like, what does that mean?
It's yeah, so it's not just like, a lot of the time we see university on campus research, but we have, if you go to Bozeman and you drive around, in the countryside, you will see sometimes you will see a signboard say MSU agriculture research. So it's like
Oh,
in
wow.
a big fields where people, it's surprising for me. Like sometimes I just, oh, that is MSU. So I didn't know that probably actually belongs to MSU to do agriculture research, because like when you study agriculture, you have to be on the field, you have to be
Of
outdoors, you have to
course.
so yeah.
And I didn't get a chance to ask Juliana, but I know your location. You're close to some really famous national parks and like some of those really top places like Yellowstone. Is that correct? You're close to Yellowstone?
You're absolutely correct, Mackenzie. Yeah, so we are only an hour and 30 minutes away by driving from MSU campus to the Yellowstone National Park. There's something really interesting about about the Yellowstone National Park is that it's not just a place where people come and admire the beautiful nature and the wilderness, but it's also a place where our MSU students and researchers and faculty come there to do research as well. For example, if you study geology, for example,
Mm-hmm.
you will come there to do research as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And even if you're not, even if you're not studying a STEM program, because Montana State has a wide variety of programs you can study. It's not all research-based programs. So you don't have to be like a scientist to study at Montana State. If you're just someone who likes the outdoors, it's so cool that you have Yellowstone National Park so close. I've never been, and that's something that's on my bucket list to see Yellowstone. So that's amazing that you have that so close. And just looking at the campus itself of Montana State, it's so beautiful with like the mountains and all of that. So this is definitely a place you want to be if you're into the outdoors. Now I want to talk a little bit going back towards academics. I want to talk a little bit about internship or work opportunities. I know that's something a lot of students want to know about. So can you tell me a little bit more about those options for students, Kay?
Yeah. So international students, you can work for internship. You can apply to do internship as part of the CPT program, like the curriculum practical training. And then after graduation, you can apply for OPT, which is optional practical training that allow you to stay in the US and work for up to 1 year if you study like non-STEM major, like business, for example. Or you can stay up to 3 years to do OPT if you are a STEM major student. Every year, MSU organize two career fairs, one in fall and one in spring semester. And during these career fairs, that we bring employers not only in Montana but all over the country to come to MSU and meet with our current students. This is the time where a lot of our students find. Welcome back, Juliana. Um,
Thank you.
yeah, we find, our students find the internship here or even like permanent job here during the career fairs. And we also have resources to prepare our students to be ready before they go into like a professional world. Like we have a career center that we prepare for them to do resume and cover letter and interview practice and things like that. So they are not just like not sure what to expect when they enter into the professional world.
Right. And what about you, Juliana? I'm so glad you joined back in. This is exciting. You're back.
Yeah.
Have you done any internships or do you have any jobs that you're currently doing, or are you just focused on studies right now?
So yeah, good to be back actually. um, yeah, so right now I'm working with Office of International Programs with Huawei. Um, and I'm also working at ASMSU, which is kind of like the hub of like Montana State. It's like student body government and like everything else, kind of like where you make all the decisions with clubs, stuff like that. Um, so it's kind of nice to have like an on-campus job and kind of get the feel of like, like this is what students want, and just helping other students as well through international programs. So it's always nice to have that on-campus job because that is like technically that is your first job before you kind of step into the real world. So I would say definitely take advantage of like on-campus jobs. It's a great opportunity for building connections, networking, things like that. And as Quay mentioned, we do have like a career center where they prep for like your actual real world job. So I've been to a couple of their programs, like the resume critiques, like even just like how to be professional in terms of like your dressing. And we also do like free like LinkedIn profile checks and like photos and stuff like that. So it's another added bonus to like your career development. Apart from that, we also have, they've expanded a lot of their services on campus. So I live on campus, so we do have like mini group sessions with like other students close to like the dorms or even at our housing facility here, to just kind of help each other with like resumes and things like that.
That's awesome. And especially for international students, I think that's such a useful resource because, things are done differently in different countries. Like, for example, I live in Mexico currently. So here in Mexico, it's very normal for you to put your picture on your resume. Whereas in the States, it's not real. I mean, at least back when I was applying for jobs, it wasn't normal to put your picture on a resume in the US. So it's like those little things that you might not know. And also when it comes to like cultural norms, I'm sure they help you with that too. Like in certain countries, you might not shake hands, or, if you're a student from Europe, you don't want to go in to like kiss somebody on the cheek when you're going in for a job interview because the person will be like, wait, what? So I think that's really cool that you have those resources. Now, kind of wrapping up our conversation, I don't want to take up too much of your time. And now that you're back, Juliana, I want to ask you another question that I didn't get to ask you before. So why did you choose Montana State University? What brought you there?
So first of all, I applied to the pre-med program, and not a lot of schools actually offer pre-med programs, and MSU happened to be one of them. So I had to do a lot of digging to kind of find this program, and I was really happy that MSU offered it. It's a great program. It's kind of like a track program, so you take everything that you need for like medical school before you actually go into med school. And then while you're doing that, you have to pick your degree. So I kind of got like two things that I really wanted, something related to medicine, preparing me for the future, but at the same time, kind of working in like what I thought was like really useful and how I can apply it with medicine later on in life. So that's one of the reasons why I picked MSU. And the second reason was one of my friends, she's kind of like a close friend from home. So she's actually a year older than me, and she got into MSU. So she kind of she did her first year. She came back home and she said a whole lot of good stuff about MSU, the campus, Bozeman. I was excited to see snow, so I was like, why not? This sounds like a good plan for me.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome. And I think that's so useful to kind of have someone that you know who's been there and they know what the school is like. That's always really helpful. And, you know, I don't know if it's like this in other countries, but at least in the US, we're so passionate typically about the school that we're at, you know, like when you're at your school, you really love your school because it's a community. It's not only the academics, it's the whole package. And it's really great to hear the perspective of someone that you trust. So students, if any of you are watching this, you know, even if you don't know somebody who, you know, you definitely know that sitting at Montana State, now you know Juliana. And Juliana was not paid to be here. She's here on her own because she loves it. So
yeah, definitely. That's one of the reasons why I loved working at Office of International Programs with Quay and like my other coworkers. It's like at least you have some connection with us now, and with through these webinars, you definitely kind of get that personal sense, of that personal feel that yeah, we got you. Like just feel free to like ask us questions. We can definitely help you out. We've seen this, so we're happy that you'll be seeing us and like Montana and MSU soon as well.
Awesome. Yes. And again, as Juliana said, you know, you see us now, you know who we all are. We're the people behind the screen when you're inquiring or if you're starting an application, you know, it's going to be with me, it's going to be with Kay. And now you know, Juliana, if you have any questions about what the student experience is like. So before we wrap up, Kay, do you have any final things you'd like to mention about MSU that we may have missed?
No, I think we have covered a lot of things, and especially thank you so much, Juliana, for covering, you know, the student perspective, which I think so important because you can find a lot of like, you know, quick facts about MSU on a website easily. I'm just saying that I know Montana is not like a very popular name for a lot of international students, but I can say that a lot of international students who end up coming here, they decide to stay here long and finish their degree because they love it here, they love the program, and they love the community here. And so, yeah, if you would like to know more about Montana State University, please contact Mackenzie, myself, or Juliana, and we're more than happy to help you in any way we can.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And again, thank you, Juliana, for sharing your experience. It's so valuable. Now, for our viewers, again, if you have any questions for either Juliana or Kay, you can submit them in the comments section. In just a few minutes, we'll be happy to answer those questions. It can be about anything from what it's like in Montana to academics to scholarships, anything you'd like to ask. While we wait for some questions to roll in, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show our viewers how they can find Montana State on applywave. So let me share my screen really quick. All right, here we go. So this is applywave, the homepage. If you have your account, obviously log in up here at the top. For Montana State, you'll be able to find their programs under associate's degrees. So those are 2-year degrees. Bachelor's degrees, which are the 4-year undergraduate program, and then the master's degree, which comes after the bachelor's. So for the sake of our purposes, I will show our bachelor's degrees. So here where it says, where do you want to study? You can simply type in Montana State University and click search. Here you'll see the pre-profile. So if you want to just get a quick glimpse, you can see that beautiful campus, those athletics, all those activities, super cool. And if you want to see more information, you can click read more. Again, you see how gorgeous the school is. Here you'll be able to find all the information about admissions requirements, scholarship requirements, the list of majors you can choose from, which is very extensive. You can see we have lots of majors. So as I said before, STEM is very strong at MSU, but it's not the only thing that they offer. So there's lots of different things that you can choose from. Here you can see exactly where the school is located on the map. So if you don't know where Montana is, you can keep zooming out. You can see it's kind of in the northwest a little bit of the US. So here's where it is. And if you wanted to get a better feel of the campus, here you'll be able to see some pictures and videos. And again, just get an idea of what Montana State is all about. If you're ready to move forward with an application, you can I can't talk. You can simply click apply. And as I mentioned before, it is us who will be behind the screen helping you with your application and helping you find your place at Montana State. All right, so we don't have any questions to answer, so we will go ahead and say goodbye. But again, Kay, Juliana, thank you so much for being here. I had so much fun, and I think this was so valuable, so thank you.
Thank you, Mackenzie.
Thank you, everyone.
And Juliana, good luck with the rest of your program, and I'm sure you have a bright future ahead. So good luck and thank you. All right, bye everyone.